Hello, welcome to this flow. Today you will need possibly a couple of bricks and a tie or a belt, and we'll start lying on our backs. So make sure that your props are at hand, by your side, and then start with either your feet flat to the floor and the knees up towards the ceiling, or perhaps extending the legs all the way in front of you. Let's take a few breaths to notice what it feels like to be in our body today. As you inhale and as you exhale, observe the flow of breath coming through your body. In through the nose, out through the nose if that's comfortable. Take another breath here. And then one after the other, slide the knees in towards the chest, hugging either on top of the shins or behind the thighs, depending on your knees. And here, toes and heels and knees together, you might start to take some little circles into the lower back in one direction and into the other direction. Allow the knees to rock forward and then back, feeling the pelvis lifting up off the floor and releasing, allowing that lower back to stretch a little bit more into the floor. Keeping those knees as they are without the use of the hands. You're going to bring the fingers up towards the ceiling, separate the toes and heels so we can take some ankles and wrists rotations here. And in the other direction too. Release the right leg down to the floor, foot flat, knee up, and then extend that left leg up towards the ceiling, and perhaps you just want to give it a little bit of a rub into the back of the left leg here. Maybe making your way up to the calf if that's comfortable too. And then from here you're going to release the left foot flat to the floor and change sides. So take the right leg in, extend the right leg, give the back of the thigh a rub. Maybe moving up to the calf muscles. And then releasing the feet flat to the floor. Take the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to open out to the side. Several options here to allow the knees to open out. If that's a little too tight on the inside of the thighs, you may prop yourself up with your bricks or blocks or books, placing them to the outside of the thighs so there is a little support. Option 2, to allow the heels to come further forward, or to place a brick under your feet so that you're lifting the feet and there is less angle into your hips. Stay here for a few breaths, and whilst you do so, you're going to inhale and lift the arms over the head, bring them behind you, and then just creating a little snow angel here, come out to the side in cactus arms. Then bring the palms to your pubic bone. Inhale, lift all the way behind the head to the side and back up. Let's do this once more in this direction. And then let's take 3 of those in the other direction. Monitor this feels good in the shoulders. So as you open the arms out to the side of the body, this time cactus arms, come over the head, palms together, fingers pointing towards the pubic bone, separating out to the side, above the head, and one last time. Hands slide to the side of the thighs and you'll bring your knees together. Again, one knee, other knee in towards the chest. Hug them in, tuck the chin, forehead towards the knees. Inhale all the way down to the floor. Exhale, forehead to knees. Inhale all the way down to the floor. Exhale, forehead to knees. Inhale, torso and head to the floor, and then allow the knees to come forward as you exhale with the feet dangling down to the floor. Inhale, push the knees forward, then out to the side. Exhale, take the knees in and together. So essentially you're taking a few circles here. Imagine your knees were drawing a circle onto the ceiling, moving forward and out as you inhale, and in and together as you exhale. Good. One more in this direction. You can make the circles as small or as big as you wish. Then let's reverse. So as we inhale in towards the chest and out to the side, exhale forward and together. And again, knees in and out, and forward and together, in and out, and forward and together. Let's do this one last time. Place the feet back to the floor. So they're more or less situated under your knees. If you're able to, maybe you can take your arms to measure that you can just tickle the back of the ankle there. No worries if not. Your knees might not be ready for this, but make sure that your feet are pressed firmly to the ground. Hands to the side of the body. You're going to inhale, lengthen the tailbone, start to lift as you exhale, lift the body, lift the arms. Inhale and stay where you are. Exhale, release the arms. At the same time as the bottom reaches the floor, the hands reach the floor too. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen the tailbone. Exhale, take the lift with the arms and the thighs and the spine. Inhale, remain where you are. Exhale, release everything, trying to make the hands and the bum reach the floor at the same time. That's quite a challenge. One last time, 2 breaths for this movement. Inhale, lengthen to prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale, stay. Exhale, release. Good. From this, you're going to need the use of your belt as well as perhaps a brick. So let's start with the left leg. I'm going to place the brick to the outside of the left hip. Take the left knee in towards the chest and place my belt around my foot, somewhere on the foot where it feels comfortable for you, to start to allow the foot to push against the belt. Shoulders on the floor here so that the shoulders and the ears are relaxed. If your head wants to roll back, then why not put a blanket behind the head to bring it to a correct height so there's no tension in the neck. Option 2 is to take the option as well. That means to take the right leg forward if that's comfortable for your back. And then very gently, you're going to push the foot in towards the belt. Note that if you're heavily bent here, and this is quite tense, feel free to allow the angle of the leg to come forward. So then the arms will come forward, a little bit like the reins on a horse. And then you can have a straight leg here. So wherever your leg is straight and comfortable, you're going to take it there. Take another couple of breaths. And then you're going to take the belt into the left hand, place the right hand on top of the right hip bone and allow that left leg to open out. The reason why I have a brick here is so that I don't roll and so that both of my pelvic bones at the front can be facing up towards the ceiling. And so as my leg is out, you can bend the elbow to bring it a little closer towards your face, or you can allow it to go a little further down. That's up to you. There is a modicum of stretch. I mean, really, it's the variation between, I can feel this a little bit too, I can feel this a lot. So make sure that this is comfortable for you. Remember to listen to your body. Then let's come back. So we bring the leg back through towards the center. Let's slide the right foot back to the floor. Bend the left knee to release the left foot flat to the floor. And take a breath or so here. Let's change sides. So you take the brick, place it to the outside of the hip on the right side. Take the right leg up with the belt around it. You know, two sides might tell a different story, so it may well be that you actually keep the left foot flat on this side. If you do, make sure that the knee doesn't open out to compensate here. So you are gently releasing the upper arms to the floor, you're pushing the foot into the belt gently, remembering that you could take an angle that allows for that leg to be straight, yet the stretch to still be felt. Make sure you're not tensing in the neck. Keep pressing. If your knee is bent, keep pressing the toes and the inner heel and outer heel of the left foot down as you now take the left hand to the left hip, the belt into the right hand, and you allow that leg to open out. Make sure that you're fairly relaxed in the shoulders, that your pelvis, your bones at the front are facing up towards the ceiling. There'll be a slight opening, of course, into the right side as you're opening out. But this is the beginning, so we're being kind, thoughtful, as we always ought to be. Then let's come back with the leg back through towards the center. Slide the left leg in if it's not already on the floor. Release the belt from the right foot, and again allow for a couple of breaths. You may just leave the belt out to the side now. You can also take the brick away. Gently knees in, take the hands behind the thighs, and then start to rock your heels up and down, and that will start to move your spine. Tuck the chin if it's comfortable for you to rock back and forth until you come up to a comfortable seat. Oh, I could do spinal rolls for the entire day, I think. Let's not. So from here, find yourself into a comfortable seated posture, whether that's cross-legged, whether that's legs extended or sat on your heels, whatever feels good to you. From here, we're going to inhale, and then as we exhale, allow the left ear to come towards the left shoulder. Just for a couple of breaths, make sure that there is no tension that crept up without us realizing whilst we were on the floor. Inhale back through towards the center and over to the other side. Good. Come back through towards the center, and then you're going to allow the shoulders to come forward, up towards the ears, back behind you and down. So forward, up, back and down, and forward, up, back and down. 3 in the other direction, back, up, forward and down, and back and up and forward and down. And I think one last time, just for good measure, also because I forgot to count. From this, let's come on to the hands and knees. Find your knees under your hips. And then from this, you're going to bring the right forearm to the floor and bring it across. And then you're going to bring the right knee close to the right elbow. And you're going to extend the left arm forward and extend the left leg back. So we aim to take a stretch into that left side of the body. You may move your right forearm so you can rest your forehead there. So you can reach as far forward and as far back as you feel is comfortable in order to get an elongation, a length into the left side of the body. Then you gaze back towards the left hand, bring the left hand back, right hand under the shoulder again, and then slide the left knee back in, release the right knee so that it's back, all in back in line for tabletop. So this time, it is the left forearm that comes to the floor, comes across, left knee close towards the left elbow, right arm reaches forward, right leg reaches back. And then get yourself comfortable here, so you might need to make some little adjustments so you can stretch a little bit more into the side of the body. Remember, 2 sides can tell a different story. So if you're a little bit more compressed on one side than on the other, then you'll feel it more. The stretch will be felt more on the compressed side rather than the more limber side, if you like. Allow the breath to flow. Gaze towards the right arm, bring the right hand under the right shoulder, left hand under the right shoulder, right knee comes in, left knee goes back. So again, you're back into the hands and knees here. You may sit back down into your heels if that is comfortable for you. Should you not be comfortable sitting onto the heels, you can stay upright, so you can stay onto your shins. Here we'll take a gentle spinal twist, so we'll take the left arm behind, maybe reaching towards the right side of the waistline, and then the right arm comes across. So it'll look like this if you're standing, or if you're semi-standing, that is. And if you're sat down, then you'll be on your heels and you can allow the gaze to follow a little bit. Come back through towards the center, arms unravel, and let's move this to the other side. So remember, either it's as if you're trying to reach towards the other side of the waistline with your arms. So the right arm goes behind to the left arm across the right. And you take that twist. Gaze back through towards the center. Release yourself back through to the front. If you're sat on your heels, you are going to come onto your shins to then take one arm forward and the other arm forward, making sure that they're further forward than the shoulders. Allowing the gaze to dangle, realigning your hips if you need to. Tuck the toes, press the hands down into the floor, allow the head to dangle, engage the thigh muscles, and lift yourself up into a downward facing dog. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. In your down dog here, keep the knees bent to start with so that you can allow the spine to elongate. Press onto the fingers and the knuckles of the fingers so that you can release the pressure away from the wrists. Remember too, you can come onto your hands and knees at any time. Here, once you're pushing the sitting bones back, you keep that elongation on the sides of the body. Let's see whether we can push the thighs back so that the thigh muscles are going towards the thigh bones and the thigh bones towards the hamstrings. And eventually, if you wish to, you can even start to release those heels down towards the floor. Make sure that you're happy to move the neck around. Take another couple of breaths here. Then lift the right leg up towards the ceiling in your three-legged dog. Resist wanting to open the feet and the leg out to the side. So you've got both hip bones facing down. Then take the right knee in towards the chest, round into your back, and then slide the right leg to the front. For this, I come up onto my fingers. For you, you might want to allow the fingers to come to the left, and then take the right leg all the way out to the side in a semicircle. From here, let's inhale, coming into a low lunge, relaxing the shoulders, gazing up. Release the hands down to the floor, take the front leg back into a down dog once more. Stay for about 3 breaths. You could do this from the hands and the knees. Lift the left leg up towards the ceiling. Stay here for a couple of breaths. If you were to do this on the hands and knees, you are lifting that leg back, keeping those hips facing down at all times. And then let's bring the left knee in towards the chest, round into the back. You could bring the hands out to the right side of the mat, and then as if you were going over the fence, bring the left leg forward or simply slide it through. Right knee comes down to the floor, and then this time take a lunge here, shoulders away from the ears, arms up towards the ceiling. This time, let's bring the hands down towards the floor, tuck the back foot, the back leg comes all the way to the front, finding Uttanasana, your standing forward bend. Legs together, legs wide, knees straight, knees bent, hands to the shins to support the back, or holding onto the elbows, you choose. Take another breath here, bend the knees slowly and curl yourself back up vertebra by vertebra. Unless your back's not good, then you do the deck chair. You slowly uncurl yourself back up. Roll the shoulders up and back. Find yourself at the top of the mat. Well done. From this, let's face towards the long end of the mat. So you're going to here be in the middle. You can bend the knees, take the fingers together, you can walk, you can step, you can jump. The legs out to the side, making sure that the outer edges of the feet are further away than the elbows. Hands to the hips. Take the right toes in and the left toes out. And then engage the left thigh muscle so that you can bend into the front knee. Take the arms up to shoulder height, relax the shoulders. Take the right arm, dropping it to the thigh, take the left palm facing up, lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Feel that elongation that we felt when we were onto our hands and knees and then we extended one side of the body. Perhaps you can emphasize this a little bit by sitting a little bit more into your hips and taking the top arm back a little bit, allowing your neck to go wherever it wants to go. Inhale back through towards the warrior two here. We're going to hinge forward, release the left forearm to the thigh. Top hand can go to the hip. It can go up, or it can turn the palm in and reach it over the head. Bottom arm could be reaching to the inside or the outside of the leg, whatever feels comfortable for you, with the help of a brick or without. Come back through to the warrior two, hands to the hips, straighten the legs, have the feet parallel once more, and let's tackle this on the other side. So you take the left toes in, right toes out. Engage the thighs and the knee muscles so that you very gently externally rotate the thigh, bend the front knee, then turn the torso and the hips. Inhale and lift the arms, relax the shoulders. Relax the left arm to the back leg, turn the right palm facing up, lift it. Start to feel that length in the side of the body. Maybe you take it a little back, bend, and the moon warrior here. Inhale back through towards the center. Hinge forward, this time maybe forearm onto the thigh, back arm onto the hip, whatever feels good. If you want to elongate again into the side of the body, get that extra stretch, then you may bring the fingertips in line with the ear, remembering that the bottom shoulder, the right shoulder with the forearm onto the leg, should be away from the ear, not coming up towards the ear. Come back through towards the center, hands to the hips, straighten the legs. Have the feet parallel. Bend the knees, take the arms out. You can walk, you can step, you can jump. The feet back through towards the center. Finding yourself into a more upright position, your Tadasana, your mountain posture here. Whether you want to have the legs together, the legs separated, relax the buttocks. Allow the back to come back to its natural curve, shoulders away from the ears. Hands to the hips, walk, step, jump the legs out. Making sure that the feet are parallel. Big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, outer heel. I'm saying this with the feet being parallel. The important point here is that you feel that big toe, little toe, inner heel, outer heel are pressed down to the floor. And for this, if you need to allow the toes to go slightly out, then so be it. We've got different bones, angles, so you should respect those. Hands to the hips, lengthen the tailbone, lift the chest, and then as you exhale, you're going to tip forward so you come to a long spine. The crown of the head is facing towards me and your bottom is facing towards the back. From here, inhale, extend, exhale. You can release the crown of the head down to the floor, let the hands reach the floor, or if you're not quite there with the floor, then your brick that is somewhere around you might be helpful to give yourself a little bit of support here. So coming to Prasarita Padottanasana, the wide-legged extended forward bend. Some of you might even feel comfortable taking the legs wider and releasing the crown of the head towards the floor. Taking the hands, maybe fingertips pointing away from your feet. When you're ready to inhale, come back to half a tabletop so the fingers are to the floor. And then from here, you're going to perhaps readjust the feet to make sure that as we come into the twisted variation of this posture here, you are comfortable and you have big toe, little toe, inhale, outer heel pressing down to the floor. Place the right hand under your face and take the left arm out and open it out to the side. Not comfortable opening into the shoulder, release the hand to the lower back. So we're getting that twist into the spine. Then let's come back through towards the center with the gaze, and then let's replace. So the left hand comes down to the floor, the right arm comes up. And again, remember here, so if you're keeping the arm lifted away, try to release the shoulder blades away from the ears and have the palm facing away from your right leg, or rather actually facing in the same direction as the right leg. Again, you could release the hand onto the lower back. Take another breath here. And let's replace. Right hand comes down to the floor. So now you've got both hands to the floor. Press onto your feet. Hands into your hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, relax the shoulders and the hands. Bend the knees, you can walk, you can step, you can jump those legs back through towards the center. Well done. From this, you could have the toes slightly separated. You could have a brick at hand as we come into a squat. Not for every knees. So here, we're going to bend the knees and allow ourselves to come up onto our toes. Not happy with this, you could simply stay higher, or you could also try to have a brick under your feet so it supports you a little bit and takes the pressure away from the knees a little bit. Another alternative, but this one is actually, I feel, a tougher one, is to have a brick there to support that opening into the legs. We don't stay here so long anyhow. Now let's, from here, separate the knees and then try to take the hands inside, pressing the upper arms away so we stretch into the thighs and into the lower back. Not so happy in this. Take your bum to the floor and then the legs wide, and then try to come forward. You'll feel that same stretch on the inside of the legs. Let's make our way down to the floor if you're not already there. Good. And so from this, let's take the knees together and take the legs a little bit wider. For this, I like to have a little blanket for my sitting bones. Helps to tip the sitting bones a little bit more forward. So here, a comfortable amount of stretch onto the inner thighs. I'm going to place my hands to the outside of the hips. Lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, and as I exhale, allow to come forward, keeping the fingertips by the side of the hips, keeping those legs active. So the spine is long, not rounding. My shoulder blades are pointing towards the lower back. Inhale, come all the way back up. And this time, let's take the legs together. Bend the knees. Hug the knees in towards the chest and allow the forehead to fall onto the knees or towards the knees. Inhale, back up with the gaze. This time, we're going to take the left leg forward and lift the right knee. Allow that right knee to open out to the side. Possibly you want to support the right knee with a brick. You can take the flesh away from the left buttock so that you can take that pelvic tilt that I used the blanket for earlier on. Inhale, hands to outside of the front leg. Exhale, you're going to come forward and then reach the right hand to the outside of the left leg, anywhere on the left leg. And then the left arm will go towards the lower back, and then you're going to twist. So this is Prasarita Janushirasana, or a variation of your revolved head to knee posture. Stretches your lower back. When you're ready to bring the gaze back through towards the center, slowly uncurl yourself all the way back up. Bring the knee up and extend the leg. Good. To the other side. So this time, you take the left knee in and you open that left knee out. Again, you may want to have a block or a brick to support your knee. Lift the right sitting bone so you can take the flesh away from the right sitting bone. Hands to either side at the front so that the spine is still long. Inhale, lift. Exhale, you're going to come forward any amount. Then the left hand comes anywhere that feels comfortable on the outside of the right leg. And it may not be as far as you came to on the other side. Right hand comes behind you. Extend the crown of the head and then very gently twist the torso so that it'll be facing towards the right thigh. Length into the neck. You can close your eyes here and take a few breaths. Gaze back through towards the center, slowly uncurling yourself back towards the center. Good. Take the left knee up, extend the left leg forward. You may take the brick out to the side. Slide the legs out to the side. Come up onto your shins. And here you may want to have that blanket or double up onto the mat to support your knees. As you're going to come up, tuck the toes. You might want to have that brick here onto your ankles, so your ankles would be sufficiently together to support this. Lengthen the tailbone. Take a couple of breaths. Lift the right arm over the head and behind you on your bottom. Left arm lifts. Behind you on the bottom, lengthen the tailbone, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. You can take the gaze up towards the ceiling if you wish, and maybe even behind you if your neck is happy with this. Keep the front of the hips long. Into your camel. You could even release the fingers to that brick in case you were wondering why the brick was there. Gazing forward if you're not already there, releasing the fingers, maybe the brick, releasing the toes. Either stay here but allow your bottom to relax and stick out a little bit, or if your knees can take this, you can sit back into your heels. Naturally here, your spine will then release into a more of a neutral posture for itself. And so from here now, let's take the knees and separating them out. Slide ourselves forward, perhaps hands on top of one another, or if your forehead is comfortably releasing to the floor, then you can allow it to do so. Take the hands behind you, folding forward into Balasana, your child's posture. Take the hands to the side of the knees, slowly, and curl yourself back up, bringing those knees together. Slide the legs out to the side of the body. Shuffle your bottoms towards your heels, and then very slowly and curl yourself back down to the floor to find a comfortable spot for your relaxation. Perhaps you extend the legs one by one, rolling the shoulders back and down, palms facing up. Feel free to adopt any other posture that makes you feel comfortable for a relaxation. Closing your eyes, allowing space between the back of the neck and the floor so that you can ever so slightly tuck your chin in towards the chest. Allow the breath to come back to a gentle flow through your body here. And your eyes closed. Your tongue relaxed in your mouth. And you're holding thoughts in your mind in the shape of little wrinkles on your forehead, or are you letting them go? Take one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart space. Allow yourself to feel the breath through your fingertips. Allow this time to be the recovering time. The surrendering your weight, your thoughts, your residual tension. Your shedding. Shedding everything that you do not need, mentally wise, toxin wise. This twist that we practiced help the lymphatic system, help get rid of those toxins that are not needed in our bodies or in our mind. When you're ready to, allow the hands to slide away from the body. The toes to wiggle, the ankles to take some movements. Come into any posture that makes you feel comfortable here. A hug, a stretch, a roll, so that you can eventually roll over onto one side, supporting your head. open your eyes, allow your gaze to focus. Press the top hand down to the floor and bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated posture. Notice how you're feeling right now. Inhale, arms up. Exhale loudly through your mouth. 2 more. Let's take one more breath. Release the thumbs to the forehead. 4 kind thoughts towards yourself and others. To your lips for kind words towards yourself and others. And to your heart for kind actions towards yourself and others. I salute you. Namaste.